Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or you're coming back, greetings to you from the island of Patmos in Greece. I am in this gorgeous place. It's a little bit windy right now, so wind alert. Hopefully I won't have to be running around catching my cards, but I'll have to think of some precautions for our reading today. I missed you a lot, guys, and really wanting us to get to see today where we are energetically. And I know you've seen some of the recordings that I made before I left on my journey. Had an amazing time in Portugal with my cousin. Those who are following me on Instagram, you can see it in my stories. And yeah, now this is a more spiritual pilgrimage part of the trip for sure, and I can't wait to explore the land. I'm going on a hike tomorrow, so I'll continue doing the readings daily if I can. If not, that could be either because of the Wi-Fi or just because I couldn't plan it into my day, because some of the days get busy. And you know, with the islands, on the one hand, it's great that you don't really have a plan. You just get out of your house and you go in the direction that you want to go to, and then you'll see what happens. But it can also, like, it's beautiful, but can also be tricky for things that you maybe would like to plan. So we'll see how it works out. But for now, I'm here, got some cards with me. So let's get started. Among other things, we will be talking about the eclipse soon again, because we have, surprise, surprise, the solar eclipse happening next week. But before that happens, there's still enough time for us to contemplate on the eclipse season in general, these 2 weeks that we're basically in the middle of it right now. The transformational journey, which it will look different for each of us, obviously. Even the autumn equinox that we just experienced. I'll just move a little bit this way. It's a lamp pole. I was like, what the stick is that? That's a lamp pole, yeah. Alright. So let's get an oracle card first for each of the twins, and then we'll get to our usual spread. Since I haven't done readings for a few days, for me it will feel new, it will be new, and obviously the energy is special while I'm here. So let's get it. Have some water sports enthusiasts here. So feminines, you got gates of triumph. Success expands in your life. So yeah, it's, to me, first and foremost, I'm noticing the sun, and I'm noticing the contrast of this place where the person is coming from. And first, it may seem like it's a building, but if you really pay attention, it seems more like the night or the winter, right? Like it's still forest, somewhere outside. So to me, it's really a change of season, also a change of the direction, a change of the energy with it. And it's not so much with what changes, you know, on the outside. We can take it literally as going into the winter season, right? We've reached that equator and we're basically moving along that path, right? It's a change of season time. But more importantly, change of season within us. And that's more valuable to pay attention to. And notice, how is it working out for you? What does it look like? And if anything, how does it change where you're going, the direction? Whatever it is, if you continue to stay in alignment, it's the gates of triumph, you know, the triumph is right there. It becomes available. For masculines, we see navigated by the stars. Follow your bliss. Yeah, so masculines continue to explore and expand their intuitive knowledge, their discernment, making difficult decisions, even if the logic seems pointing to one direction, but making a different one because of the intuitive feeling, because of the guidance. Well, navigating by the stars actually has a lot of truth in it, astrology wise. But even if masculines are not really into astrology or don't have that knowledge, it's still about eternal guidance and guidance from spirit, from the universe, you know. Okay, so these are our messages. Follow your bliss is, of course, while I'm preparing the cards and protecting my other cards. This will be a situation. Just want to say that, yeah, for sure, follow your bliss is key here, because it's, yeah, I'm gonna have to start getting the cards just fine, no big deal. Follow your bliss more than anything is about doing something that feels right, that feels good, because a lot of times, sorry guys, there we are. A lot of times we'll learn to believe that fun and success or abundance are separate, right? Like it's either or, right? And this is a big change in mentality, to realize that you're actually supposed to follow your bliss. There's something in your life that you do easily, that you don't have to make yourself do it. You're curious, you're interested, you're excited. There's something to it, you know. That's a huge clue for you to see how you can bring more of that into your life. Whether it's for work or just to spend more time doing it, to continue expanding your own horizons, even just getting yourself into a high vibrational state because of it. Okay, our main deck is the Celtic Tarot. Let me get the cards. And now, bottom of the deck is Six of Pentacles. Right? Helping those in need. Like that there is also a fairy here. It's like we're all helping each other, really. And it's not about necessarily who is physically stronger or smarter or older, right? It's like, if you need help and I can help you, of course I'm gonna do it, right? It's learning this approach of like, we all have our power in different ways, and it goes far beyond the physical, far beyond the appearances, let's put it that way. I need to pick something less windy. I'll try. I was actually gonna do a reading for my hike tomorrow, but we'll need to pick something that's not necessarily on the hill. I mean, look at the end. It continues. Just for a second. I'm gonna try and do this. Look at that. Oh, how gorgeous is that? It took me 7 hours to get to this island from Athens yesterday. It's quite a journey. It's a very comfortable one, so if you ever get to travel to a Greek island that's pretty remote and you have doubts because it's ferry and it's several hours, don't doubt it. Follow your bliss. Alright, it's a little easier. I just needed to bring more things that I can use to hold stuff. It's okay. Alright, take it easy. Bottom of the deck here, Five of Swords. I like that there is it's actually a moth. I wanted to say a butterfly. There is a moth here. But it still gives that hope of like, it's up to you how you learn from unfortunate experiences, from somebody letting you down, lying to you, whatever it is, whatever it was that brought you down for some reason, that stopped you from trusting people. Yeah, I mean, it is painful in the moment, but part of the healing is to turn it around and not even blame yourself or try to avoid the same situation. I mean, that our brain is gonna do that to you, of course, but for us it's to appreciate the wisdom that we're learning. And maybe there was a better way, you know. Sometimes people get this thought in their head that, you know, it could have been easier, it could have been kinder. But did you ever think that maybe you were already given that choice and you just didn't use it because it was so kind, because it was so subtle, that maybe you didn't appreciate it in the moment, or you didn't think that that was a big deal and you just missed it, which is totally fine. But what I'm saying is there was a reason for the divine to then use a greater force to get your attention, to get you to draw the right conclusions. That's the thing, right? It's this knowledge that we're getting. It's not always plain and simple in words. So even if it is, it's not necessarily that we're gonna trust it that way, right? It happens. I mean, we hear the lyrics in the songs, we read the lines in the book, we hear just the right message at the right time in a TV show or YouTube video that we needed to hear. But we don't necessarily trust it when it's so direct and so to the point of what we needed to hear. Even if we feel it, our brain can still resist it. Brain is tricky that way. But anyway, let me try to continue the reading. Still pretty intense with the wind here, but I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna be smarter next time and get more stuff here that I can use just to hold the cards. But for now, I'll do my best. Feminines, we've got Four of Pentacles, clarified by the Chariot. Yeah, it's very interesting, right? Because Four of Pentacles is usually, it's kind of an opposite energy if you think about it. Four of Pentacles is about being safe, taking small action, if any at all, right? Like not taking risk. It's like, okay, I need to preserve what I already have, right? In this case, the person doesn't even know exactly what they have, right? And because of that, they're even more afraid to go outside their comfort zone. Chariot, on the other hand, is about having the courage and knowing the direction, even if you don't really know what's at the destination point, but it's about movement forward. So there is a push from the universe for forward movement, but there's definitely some kind of resistance from the feminines themselves. It could easily be the brain that's playing tricks on you. And I started talking about it, and I think the lessons and how we learn and what kind of conclusions we make. And I feel like it really hit home for some people, because a lot of times when we had unfortunate experience, we are trying to play it too safe, you know? Like that's our version, that's our solution to not be robbed, to not be... I actually was robbed myself the other day. My cousin and I got robbed while we were traveling around in Portugal by car. And the guys got into the car and stole our cash. At least it was just the cash, nothing else, but still, you know, you feel violated. It's that experience. And of course, I mean, it was more harmful for her because she had quite a lot of cash in her wallet. And, you know, there were other circumstances why it just hit her so much. And they broke the locks in the car, so she had to get that done, pay for it. But even she was saying, like, you know, I can see this is such a teachable moment. And, you know, you can decide that you're never going to leave, you aren't going to be doing road trips and leaving your car unattended ever again. Not to let that happen. And that could be one of the conclusions, right? Or you can see, like, look into it closer, that wasn't really the point. But in the moment, it served a purpose. The purpose was not to say, please don't ever travel again by car, right? I think I might need to get something else from my room too, because the wind is getting even stronger than when I started. Take a moment right? So what was I saying? Yeah, it's about looking further than, you know, what our brain is trying to protect us from. Okay. All right. Okay, it's a little easier. Yeah, so definitely some risk taking is in the picture for the feminine. I'm gonna move on slowly but surely. There will be time when you won't have that choice anymore, meaning that, let me just check quickly if I lost any cards. I don't think so. No, I didn't. Okay. There will be a time when you won't be able to keep yourself small, to just keep yourself safe in a safe space anymore, right? So it's up to you to decide how you want to handle it, right? We still have free will, but this is like a big hint at this time, and maybe something is already happening in your life that's telling you that that's where it's headed, you know, that where you are isn't where you're supposed to be, right? And it's time to get moving. For masculines, we have 9 of Cups clarified by 7 of Pentacles in reverse. 9 of Cups has a pregnant lady in this deck. So definitely masculines have some kind of a full future thinking dream. That's what I'm hearing here, right? But they understand that first of all, their old plan is not suitable anymore, and second of all, they're getting more and more the idea that you can't really pre-plan, you know, like that whole concept of freeing yourself from the outcome, because the divine plan is always better than your plan, things like that. And if we talk about twin flame journey, even more so, the more we are peculiar in our tastes and choices for no good reason, but because of our judgment, eternal judgment of people, the more, I like to say that the God laughs at us at that moment and give us exactly that. You know, if you were, I don't know, maybe you have decided for yourself that you're never going to be with someone younger than, I don't know, 5 years younger than you, or somebody of a certain culture, or you only want somebody of your culture, or, you know, like these kind of things that with a certain physique don't necessarily matter, but it's in your head, then there's a good chance that you're going to get exactly what you thought of as not your type. So masculines are, they not necessarily see it that way, but they definitely start to understand. They start breaking the mold of what they had for their future, including their mate, you know, their feminine, the family that they're going to create. You know, they had a vision for it, and now they understand that that might not have been the best vision, and it's probably not going to happen that way, but there's a beauty in it. Like, they can see how it's not necessarily worse. They're not settling for something that's different, right? But the universe is showing them, the divine is showing them what happiness truly is about. And it's not about those criteria that they had in mind before, that they thought this would be a dream come true. What's the additional question here? We have Queen of Swords clarified by Page of Wands. Very interesting. So this is where logic and inspiration are kind of at odds with each other. It's not necessarily for the reason of let's decide who wins, let's decide what's better, but this is more to decide, like, basically, how do we make a decision here? So there is this serious queen that basically says, whatever I say, whatever I say goes, but also I'm not gonna get any BS from anyone. You know, I have no problem dismissing people, saying no to them, not going with something that we talked about before, if I understand that they're trying to lie to me, or it's not in accordance with, you know, my happiness. On the other side, we have this Page of Wands, which is like this excited kid. Imagine for yourself if your kid, maybe, or yourself, or somebody else, a child, and how excited they are when they see the toy that they really want to get in the store, or or they see a newly decorated Christmas tree and it's the start of the season, how wonderfully excited they get, you know, it's adorable, right? And we have that energy here too. So it's like, how do we manage to find a balance where we can make use of both our inspiration and childlike self and the logical adult self, you know, that makes good decisions, quote unquote. I don't even have my arms to show the quotes, but you know what I mean. Okay, what do the feminines need to know about it? Sorry, it's getting a little long, mostly because of the wind, but that's also the mood of where I am right now. So bear with me. Okay, for the feminines, it's the Wheel of Fortune clarified by the Tower. This is quite significant. Oh, the wheel, they say here. There's a lot of nature again, which I like. So both of these cards are about fate and something that's going to be brought onto your life, and there's not a lot you can do about it. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to speed up the reading a little bit, but basically, feminines, you don't really need to make those difficult choices, right? It's like you will be put into, by the universe, you'll be put into situations where the answer will be clear to you, and it will actually be a lot more difficult to try and challenge that with another side of it, which was either the logical side or the inspired creative side. It's like, you know, your left and right hemisphere of your mind. They say that the right hemisphere is for creative thinking, artistic stuff, and then the left hemisphere is a logical one, rational one, right? They don't have to fight each other. They function very well within us. Not necessarily always in a balanced way, but it's another story, right? So it's like, if you know you don't have balance in that area right now, you will find balance, but you don't need to overthink on how you're gonna get there. The universe is bringing the experiences that you need to understand it. Okay, let's see what we have for the masculines. We have Knight of Swords clarified by Six of Cups in reverse. Yeah, masculines really need to look into the truth of the matter and be able to speak the truth, at least for themselves, of, you know, the particular situation, what it brings to them. Because there's definitely some fear about looking into the childhood and what happened. And you would know what I'm talking about, masculines, if you're watching, what's bothering you, what's stopping you from making this next choice in your life and knowing what to trust. There's something that you are, how do I say this? You're not even saying to yourself, you know? And I know we all have experiences from childhood that we don't remember. It's not even that. It's like you don't want to go into more detail. Like, it's just written, it's recorded in your mind. There was some messed up experience that you never want to happen again for yourself or for your family. And that's it. And you're not going in further into it, but it is time to go into it and be very honest with yourself and try to be neutral in terms of your emotions, of how you're going to approach the matter. And that will help you learn something important that will guide you in these decisions you're making today in your own right. Because there's some area where your inner child needs you right now to look into that specific experience that was misunderstood, that was very painful, in order to be able to unlock that creative self now. How the feminine seen the connection. Ace of Cups clarified by the World. Ooh, very interesting. So yeah, we had that, I think, maybe a week ago, where feminine see this as the connection is changing their world, mostly in their capacity to love, to give and to receive love, right? It expands our heart chakra. It helps us see the world differently, right? It helps us also have more focus on love rather than other agendas, priorities, goals, right? Like, the expression of love is the goal, really. It's beautiful. The last two cards I have are how the masculine see in the connection. You have Five of Wands clarified by King of Pentacles. It's very interesting. Five of Wands, the dragons, the fight. Five of Wands sometimes is about unfair collaboration, you know, when some people have their own agenda and they're not playing it fair, right? The King of Pentacles is somebody who is successful, but they know that karma gets onto you, you know, it catches up, whether you like it or not. You may have a quick win today, but if you attracted some bad karma on yourself, it's gonna catch up to you. So it's a bad investment long term. And I'm getting that masculines also are starting to see the connection that way. That, you know, they used to be focused very much on the current moment and what is right in front of us and being right in the moment and having an upper hand in a particular conversation or argument, right? And it's like, we'll see what happens next, right? But for now, just like in this particular situation, I need to fight my fight. And now they're starting to see it more wisely, that I'm actually interested in building something long term. So I need to pick my battles first of all, but also not necessarily see it as a battlefield. We talked about it recently as well with you guys. But it's not a battlefield, right? It is about finding solutions together. It's about listening. It is about being able to speak your mind, your truth. But it's definitely not about winning and losing, right? So they're seeing this as more of it's a little bit more of a business-focused perspective. But why not, right? It's about contracts, it's about agreements, it's about union, right? What is union if not a contract, right? It's more of a spiritual contract to begin with, but still, it's partnership. Both of those are about partnership. So masculines are taking a page from the book of how they've done business, how they've seen successful people do it, and learning from it. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it here before, you know, my cards fly away. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys, for being with me, for enjoying this wonderful weather in Patmos. I'm gonna have a quick lunch and head to the beach. Enjoy the day, and I hope you do as well, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon.